Hello everybody and welcome back again to Let's Play Fallout New Vegas. As you can see, I have returned to the strip. I haven't been here in quite some time, except in the Lucky 38 to exchange companions and drop off some stuff. But I think it's time to get some actual work done. In particular, I think I would like to check out the Gomorrah in a bit more detail. We do have a quest about that. This one. Check Cachino's room or his person for some proof of his behavior. Perhaps someone has a key to his room. And I'm not entirely certain how I got this quest, but it's apparently about suspicious Omerta activities. Also, the Omerta are part of the Yes Men quest, so this may actually be related. So I have to, check out the Omertas for the Yes Men as well. So I guess that's what we're going to do. However, before I do that, I guess we could also pay a visit to Mr. House. I haven't been talking to him in some time, and I can tell him that I won the Boomer support and see what he has planned for me next. So yeah, I guess we're going to start with that, and then we will deal with the Omerta. I mean, I'm still not convinced that I really want to continue Mr. House's path, but at least I can see what he wants me to do next. I guess he's in the penthouse, right? And I may have a snow globe for you.
Suddenly I feel all tingly, and I find I've got a rocket launcher.
Oh, apparently she got upgraded as well. Interesting. You look different somehow. Did you cut your hair? I don't remember what her hairstyle used to be, but maybe?
How sweet of you to notice, Sugar. I've been upgraded to the Mark II software, and it's peachy having these high explosive weapons fully accessible.
I see. So she has rocket launchers now as well. And yeah, I got a snow globe.
You do? Why, that's just wonderful. I'll take it and put it with the rest of the collection.
Please do so. And yeah, that's it. Yeah, let's move on. Mount Charleston. Alright. But, okay, let's...
The Lucky 38 is not open to the general public. Trespassers will be shot.
Let's go and talk to Mr. House and tell him about the boomers, I guess. Alright, Mr. House, I'm back again.
Any progress with the boomers?
You could say that. I've secured their loyalty. They'll do as I say.
Well done. The boomers' firepower may prove an advantage when the battle for Hoover Dam comes around. Your next assignment won't take you far. It concerns the Omertas and their den of vice, Gomorrah.
How convenient.
As the decisive encounter between the bull and the bear looms close, my concerns about the Omertas have grown. I've never expected loyalty, mind you. A reliably underhanded tribe is just as constant to deal with as one that always runs true. But that's just it. Lately, the Omerta's cooperative silence has been deafening. Not a single complaint. They're up to something.
Okay, well, I guess I will have a look at that. I had that on my schedule anyway. But sure, let's ask a few questions first.
I suppose the Omertas can wait a few minutes.
You do know Caesar's dead, don't you? Well, I'm sure he has heard about that.
By my calculations, his death will affect the shape of the battle for Hoover Dam minimally, if at all. The Legion's aggression will outlive Caesar. Indeed, they'll try to take the dam as a tribute to his memory.
I guess so.
Given a year, they'd have him deified. But by then, the Legion will be breaking down, riven by internal conflicts, a monster consuming itself. It's irrelevant. In the short term, the Legion is still monster enough that defeating it will make me look powerful indeed. What else did you want to discuss?
I see you have it all planned out. You recruited the Omertas as one of the 3 families. Yeah, tell me more about that.
Yes. Though at the time they called themselves the Slitherkin, a vicious clan, not that that's changed exactly. They were nomads, capable fighters, but their specialty was betrayal. They'd invite travelers into their yurts, drug them, murder, or enslave them.
Charming.
They took pride in their craft. I don't think Omertas saw other people as people at all. Everyone else was just prey. They reminded me of a certain criminal element Vegas used to attract. I told them some stories, gave them some clothes, and they ran with it.
So you brought them to New Vegas because they reminded you of criminals. Well, no wonder that you're not surprised at their disloyalty, if that's what's going on here. So what were the original names of the other tribes? I guess I can ask that?
The chairmen, as we know them now, went by the unfortunate appellation of the Mojave Boot Riders. They were nomads, too. As for the White Glove Society, I'm afraid I'm contractually obligated not to reveal their original name.
Okay, well, that's interesting. Well, can we discuss something else?
What else did you want to discuss?
I should let you know that I planted a surveillance device on one of your data terminals. I think he already knows that, because I think the surveillance device was deactivated, like, right away. So he must have noticed that, right? So, why bother telling him about it? Say you keep control of New Vegas, what happens next? I mean, that's a good question.
New Vegas is more than a city. It's the remedy to mankind's derailment. The city's economy is a blast furnace in which can be forged the steel of a new rail line running straight to a new horizon. What is the NCR? A society of people desperate to experience comfort, ease, luxury. A society of customers. With all that money pouring in? Give me 20 years and I'll reignite the high technology development sectors. 50 years and I'll have people in orbit. 100 years and my colony ships will be heading for the stars to search for planets unpolluted by the wrath and folly of a bygone generation.
I see. And in the meantime, you'd rule Vegas as some kind of dictator.
I prefer the term autocrat.
Okay.
I would rule as a chief executive. I would not answer to a board of directors or any other entity. Nothing to impede progress. If you want to see the fate of democracies, look out the windows.
Okay, and what's to keep you from abusing your power? That's a good question.
My judgment.
Oh, okay.
I have no interest in abusing others, just as I have no interest in legislating or otherwise dictating what people do in their private time. Nor have I any interest in being worshipped as some kind of machine god messiah. I am impervious to such corrupting ambitions.
Of course.
But autocracy? Firm control in the hands of a technological and economic visionary? Yes, that Vegas shall have. What else did you want to discuss?
Alright, so what he's basically saying, and I'm paraphrasing a lot here, is democracy weak, dictatorship strong, right? But as opposed to Caesar, he's going to be a good dictator, or autocrat. So he's going to be an enlightened one, and a progressive one. He's going to be, I don't know, Frederick the Great of Prussia, or Kemal Atatürk, or some sort of autocrat. And it's almost a bit like Plato's ideal of a philosopher's king, kinda. I mean, of course, Mr. House's qualification as a philosopher are probably debatable, and I guess he's more of like a businessman, a CEO, and he wants to run New Vegas like a company. I mean, that's probably more fitting and kind of what he's trying to aim at. And I mean, he has a vision, obviously. And I guess historically, there's a strong seductive power of the idea of a strong man with a vision who's going to lead us into a glorious future, right? That certainly happened before. And a lot of people find that appealing. A lot of people fall for that. And more often than not, it doesn't end so well. But whatever, let's just say, okay, for the sake of the argument, we're going to give Mr. House the benefit of a doubt and assume that he is going to be a good dictator or autocrat. Whatever, same difference. So he's going to be more of a Emperor Augustus and less of a, I don't know, Emperor Egalabalos or something like that. The thing is, even an autocrat needs a base. An autocrat doesn't exist in a vacuum. So despite his name, it's not just one person ruling all by himself. An autocrat or a dictator has supporters. He has followers. Sometimes very fanatical ones. I mean, look at Caesar. He certainly had that part down, right? He had fanatical followers and supporters, and that gave him power. So people follow a dictator either out of respect or fear or true belief, or maybe just because they benefit from him in some fashion. And that gives the autocrat his power, right? Either way, an autocrat does command loyalty to some extent, and from at least enough people to preserve his power. So the interesting question here is, what power does Mr. House have? I think this question is in particular interesting if you consider the fact that there's still the Yes Man path, which is basically just like the Mr. House path, but without Mr. House. So why do I need Mr. House again for anything? What makes him so indispensable for this plan? I mean, yes, he kind of presents himself as like the ruler of New Vegas, right? But is he? Is he really? So he brought in these tribes, right? And he made them into these 3 families. But as he acknowledges himself, they don't really seem to care a lot for him. The White Glove Society was on the verge of reverting back to cannibalism. The Omerta are doing whatever. I still have to investigate that. And the chairman, well, I mean, Benny literally tried to oust him from power. So not much loyalty there either, obviously. And when you talk to other people of New Vegas or Freeside about him, they have surprisingly few opinions about him whatsoever. A lot of them seem to doubt that he still exists or is alive, or they don't know what he is exactly. And they seem to be indifferent about him at best. And for his outer defense, he has been mostly relying on the NCR to protect him. I mean, they're the ones keeping the Legion at bay. They took the dam, the very dam that is providing electricity for Vegas, for that matter. So, I don't know, I guess what he does have are the Securitrons, right? But they're just dumb machines. They will listen to anyone. I mean, that's basically what the Yes Man path is all about, right? The mere fact that the Yes Man path exists and was conceived by a second-rate criminal like Benny pretty much just goes to show how fundamentally weak Mr. Howe's position is. And anyone who is just moderately clever could snatch that power away from him, because he doesn't have any actual loyalties. For most people, he's just like a phantom. He's a voice from a computer screen, right? And I mean, I've been joking a lot about how the NCR can't do anything by themselves, and I have to do everything for them. But it's not that different with Mr. House either, is it? I mean, I upgraded the Securitrons for him. I secured the support of the Boomers. Now I have to put the Omertas back in line for him, I suppose. But I mean, the Boomers, for example, they pledged loyalty to me, not to him. And I worked a lot on the Strip and in Freeside to gain respect, but again, they respect me, not Mr. House. But it kind of seems to me that he wants me to win all that respect and then transfer it over to him like some kind of business transaction. I mean, he's a businessman, so that certainly would fit his way of thinking, right? And honestly, I don't think that's how it works. And I don't know, it's a rather pathetic showing for a wannabe dictator or autocrat if he needs his power gifted to him first, which is kind of what he expects me to do here, right? I mean, sure, he's not entirely powerless. That's not what I'm saying. He has his Securitrons, at least at the moment. He has Victor to do stuff for him. He can pull strings, so he has a certain amount of power, but he obviously still needs my help to actually be able to rule and to, defend New Vegas. So he doesn't have the power to declare himself a dictator or autocrat. He is dependent on me to do it. So yeah, I don't know. I guess his major claim to fame is the fact that he prevented the destruction of Vegas back then. But that was so long ago, and I don't get the impression that a lot of people really care about that anymore. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe to summarize what my issue here is with Mr. House and his plan. If you want to be a strongman, you kind of have to be, strong. And I mean politically strong, not physically. I guess that's a bonus, but it's not necessary. And I do have my doubts about Mr. House's political power in that regard. I mean, apparently not even the people that he brought in to Vegas show him any kind of loyalty. So that's a red flag here for a dictator or an autocrat. Because like I said, even an autocrat needs a basis of supporters and followers. So yeah, I don't know. His power seems to be mostly whatever power I'm willing to give him by doing all this work for him, and then, saying, okay, the boomers work for you now, and I don't know. I made sure that the Omerta are loyal to you again, but it wasn't you who did it; it was me. So, it's basically all dependent on my goodwill. And the question is, if I have to transfer this power to him, why not to anyone else? Because the yes man path basically gives me this option to essentially give that power to anyone. Anyone could be Mr. House thanks to the yes man. And of course, the same problems would kind of apply to whatever that person might be. But, I could conceivably give the power to people who have, a better standing in the city and more of an actual support base in New Vegas, and I don't see Mr. House having that kind of support. So while he kind of tries to position himself as a better choice than the NCR, I feel the real question for me is not, do I favor Mr. House over the NCR, but do I favor Mr. House over virtually anyone else? And it's kind of interesting because in that regard, Mr. House is sort of a mirror image of Caesar. I mean, Caesar was all power and no vision. I did comment on that before, his deplorable lack of vision, and the core of his political philosophy was basically an anti-position, right? He basically said it himself. The purpose of the Legion was to be an antithesis to the NCR. But in the long run, you have to bring more to the table than just being against something. You have to stand for something. And the Legion doesn't really do that, except maybe for slavery and oppression. So Caesar just wanted to destroy the NCR, and then, things would just fall into place, and that was his lack of vision. Now, Mr. House is the exact opposite in that regard, because he certainly has a vision. I'll give him that. And it's not an entirely terrible one, I would say. But his power rests on really shaky ground. And I can give him more power if I agree to do stuff for him. But it's not really like organic power. He hasn't earned any of that. And like I said, even an autocrat needs a basis, needs supporters, needs loyalties, or he'll be ousted pretty soon, and maybe by someone who's not quite as quote-unquote enlightened as he is. And that's a little bit concerning to me, that, I give this power to Mr. House, but nobody really, cares for him. He doesn't have any supporters. He doesn't have a network of people who actually follow him and respect him or believe in him. So someone will just replace him, just like Benny tried to do. But anyway, I didn't intend to talk for so long, and so far I haven't committed to either side here. I think they all have like their pros and cons, except maybe the Legion path, that really only has cons. But I mean, I never planned to do that anyway, and it's already locked, so that's not going to happen. But in regards to like the NCR, the Yes Men, and Mr. House, they all have some problems, and I guess they all also have, some advantages. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I will continue to try to delay the final decision for as long as I can, because so far I really haven't made up my mind yet. But yeah, let's get back to business, because I don't want to tell him about the surveillance device.
As I said before, I need you to investigate the Omertas to see what they're up to.
Okay, I will do that.
The Omertas are fanatically loyal to each other. Still, among any group, one can find the occasional degenerate. Gomorrah's receptionist happens to be one. For years, she passed on whispers of what was taking place at the casino in exchange for payment.
I see.
A few months ago, she clammed up. Odds are she's scared. But I've had no way of approaching her. Start with her.
Yeah, you have no way of approaching her because you're just a voice from a monitor. And that's what I mean when I say that he's kind of powerless on his own. Oh, I just got a new quest. What is that all about? Investigate the Omertas and stop them if their plans oppose Mr. House's interests. But then I got this one. The NCR has a robust network of informants. If you continue to work with Mr. House, the NCR will no longer accept your help. Oh, well, that's interesting. Apparently, they know that I'm kind of double dating here. Or triple dating, for that matter. Okay. Well, in that case, I probably should stop doing stuff for Mr. House, because the NCR is still kind of my backup plan. If I don't want to go through with any of the other ones, then the NCR is going to be the one I fall back to. So I kind of want to keep that option open, which means I have to stop working for Mr. House until I make my final decision. Of course, the problem is my next task for Mr. House is the one that I want to do for the Yes Men as well. But I guess as long as I don't go back to Mr. House and tell him about what I did once I'm done with that quest, it's not going to count as working for Mr. House. At least that's what I hope. Yeah, I guess I will do this quest, but I will wait until I go back and tell Mr. House about it. Because, like I said, I don't want to ruin my option with the NCR. I want to keep that one open for as long as I can. Yeah, but okay. Now that I've talked for like almost 20 minutes, let's go back. Where the hell is the exit? I think it's up here, right? Alright, elevator. And yeah, I guess you need to come with me again. Follow me. I'm not going to leave my companions behind again. I think I had this problem.
Alright, dearie, let's go.
The last time I talked to Mr. House, that I just went on, and then at least Edie was staying behind for some reason, so I had to pick him up again. Okay, let's go. Gomorrah. And I mean, starting with the receptionist might be a good idea one way or the other.
No one but Omertas are allowed to carry guns into Gomorrah. Check your weapons with me.
Right. I'll keep my holdout weapons. Who knows?
You'll get these back on your way out.
Do I have any holdout weapons? I know I used to have, like, the silenced pistol. That counted as... Oh, wow, I actually have a few of them. Including a light shining in darkness, which is a pretty decent handgun. So apparently I can take these weapons with me now as well, undetected. Nice! I like that. So I'm not completely unarmed in here. But yeah, I suppose talking to the receptionist...
Hello and welcome to Gomorrah. What can I help you with today?
I need a key to Cachino's room. Do you have one that will work? That is very straightforward. But I mean, I do need to investigate Cachino anyway, even if I just want to do this for the Yes Man. And it's probably essentially the same kind of quest anyway, so no matter how I finish it, it really only depends on who I'm going back to, just like the Boomers. I mean, I finished the Boomer quest, and I reported it back to the NCR and to Mr. House, so I'm going to assume it's a similar situation here. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just ask for a key straight away.
Yeah, Cachino is a creep.
Oh well.
I'll give you a key for some caps. Hazard pay.
I see. How about 200 caps and I forget we ever met? I know you feel safe here, but I could crush your windpipe before anyone noticed. Okay, so I can barter her down from 300 to 200. I don't want to threaten her. I'm just going to barter.
Sounds like a deal to me.
It's a deal. So, now I have his room key. Which means I gotta find his room, I guess. Check Cachino's room or his person for some proof of his behavior. Perhaps someone has a key to his room. Okay, I have the key. So, where is his room? Interestingly enough, there's like an enemy somewhere over here. Brimstone. Yeah, the map is a little bit unconclusive. I guess this is going to be Cachino himself. Let's find out. Yeah, this is Cachino, but I need his room. So I need to find whatever that door is. All right. Elevators. Oh, I see. It's probably one of the elevators. Lower Brimstone Suites level. I guess it's probably on the Suites level, huh? Assuming he has a suite. Okay, this looks like it might be the right place. Yep. Oh, there's like a guy standing guard. Pointing fingers
Gomorrah
at me.
is always open for business.
So is he going to be a problem if I go into his room? I mean, if he's not seeing it, I'm sure I'll be fine, right? Let's make sure he's looking away. Yeah, of course, my companions are going to open the door again. So, let's try to close it now. Okay, here we go. Okay, we are in his room. So, let's see what we can find here. Restrooms. Okay. Nothing too interesting in here. I mean, I'm not even sure what I'm looking for. That's the problem. could be anything. I mean, it might be marked on my map. Well, sort of. Huh. Oh, well, look at that. Cachino's journal. Guess I'm going to steal it. Yeah, it's going to cost me some karma. So it wasn't really marked on my map, just like the very general area. But let's continue to look around and see if there's anything else. This is empty. And none of this seems to be important. Okay, well, I guess that's all there is to find. So let's have a look at the journal. Cachino's journal documents a couple months of Cachino's activities. It contains a detailed ledger describing many of his business deals over the last few months, including the sales of camps and weapons. It is clear at a quick glance that these transactions are his own personal finances, and this is done behind the backs of the Omerta family management structure. He also talks in great detail about many sexual encounters with Gomorrah prostitutes, including Joanna. I do remember her. After nearly every off-the-books sale or sexual tryst, he vows this one will be his last. Okay, I feel that this is not really incriminating, but I guess the fact that he's dealing behind the Omerta family, that could be used against him in some form, I suppose. So is this the evidence that I was looking for? Cachino's journal should have enough proof to get him talking. Ah, okay. So I have some evidence against him. So now I'm going to talk to him about it.
Business is good. All the family's got money. Of course, Gomorrah is where the action is.
You're doing a splendid job guarding this place, by the way. Also, while I'm here, why not have a look at some of the other places? I mean, this place isn't even locked. So, I don't know. There might be something interesting. What the hell? What happened here? This is, I don't know. Everything in this place seems fairly well maintained, so why is there so much blood in this particular place? I don't know. It's weird. Do we have anything of interest in here? There's even more blood. What's going on here? Huh. Anyway, let's keep looking around. There's a lot of pre-war books, but can't take them without stealing. Oh,
if the
who are
NCR
you?
ain't gotta worry about Caesar no more, it should worry about improving the lives of regular folks around here. Hey,
Let's
nice to
talk
meet you. Do you
Clendon.
need help with something?
Let's see. What do you do around here?
A little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Wow. Could you be any more vague? How did you end up with in one of the hotel suites? That's a good question.
I'm a close friend of some of the family around here. I do some independent contracting around the casino, and they set me up with this great room.
Also, what's up with all the blood in your kitchen or bathroom or whatever that is? You should have someone clean that up.
See ya.
Because it's disgusting. Okay, so he's just some random guy living in this suite. That's interesting. Alright. But there doesn't seem to be anything else of interest around here. Okay, so in that case, I guess I'll go back and talk to Cachino about what we found in his journal. Right? Or is there anything else around here I wanna check out?
The great Caesar is dead. The management doesn't seem too happy.
The management?
I'm glad they don't let just any motherfucker through the gate. Freeside smells like shit.
Why are you talking to my dog? And if you by management mean the Omertas, why are they unhappy about Caesar being dead? I mean, you would think that they should be enemies of Caesar. After all, he doesn't really like their kind, right? We have a number of locked doors here. I mean, one of them...
I hear you've been making some waves around here.
One of them would involve... yeah, some of them would involve breaking in, but there's at least one who's apparently a freebie. So, I guess I will try to open this one. I gotta use magazine for this. Where's the locksmith reader? There we go. Now, let's see how many lockpicks I'm going to break until I get this lock to open. Alright. Getting closer. There we go. Oh, what the hell? I thought I was maybe finding some nice loot. Instead, I'm finding a dead woman. Gomorrah prostitute. That's just great. A bone saw. What in the world? And there's a doctor's bag. Well, maybe someone actually tried to help her. But, I mean, this place doesn't look like it's supposed to be an infirmary or something. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why this is here. Well...
I tell you, Not at Home is gonna have his day.
Not at Home? Who's that? Yeah, this little find kind of threw me off guard. Let's look at some more locked places. Oh, you got a garden gnome. It's even intact. Well, okay, this place seems to be less interesting, but at least it doesn't have a dead prostitute in it. Alright. Let's keep moving. Hang on a second, have I been...
Holy shit,
yeah.
You've been in
Okay.
Lucky 38? You meet the overboss in there?
He says overboss, even though the subtitle said big man. Okay, so there's a couple of doors that I could pick, but I'm going to assume that people might become hostile if I do that, so... Yeah, I don't know, let's just go back and let's try to find Cachino again. I think he was through here, right? Brimstone. Yep, and
Things are getting
he's still
stranger
here.
every day.
You again? What the fuck do you want?
I'm actually surprised you still remember me, because it's been ages ago that I talked to you. I found this ledger that proves some of your side business. Indeed. Let's see what I can do with this evidence.
Where the fuck did you get that? Okay, listen, buddy. That's some dangerous shit you got there. That book can get me killed if the wrong people see it. Let's talk. What do you want? What can I do for you?
Well, let's see. I'll consider giving this to you for some cash up front. Is this journal worth 100 caps to you? Do you think the family would like to see this? Why don't you try and take it from me? I think I'm going to keep this for a little while. Well, I don't really want money. I want information, I suppose.
I can't stop you, but that's gonna mean my death. I can make it worth your while to give it to me, though. Plus, if you go to the bosses, I can't help you stop what they've been doing.
Ah, okay, so you would help me. I'll consider giving this to you for some cash up front. Is this journal worth 100 caps to you? But yeah, I don't want money. I want like information. Juicy information. Or maybe juicy information and money. I can take that too.
Okay, you got me by the balls. Here's a couple 100 caps. Maybe that'll buy you friendship.
Okay, well, I got the money. I still don't have the information. So how about another 100 caps?
I can pay you for it, of course. I also have some information about the
Here we
family's
go.
business that you might find interesting.
Yes.
Between you and I, we can break up what they're planning. Maybe save some lives. Mine included, of course.
I like that idea. Okay, 100 caps and you help me break up whatever your bosses have planned. That sounds like a perfect plan.
Oh, here's some caps. Now give me the journal. Right, there we go. So let me tell you what I know about the family's business.
I'm all ears.
The bosses, Big Sal and Nero, have been working for a while on this. They're arming themselves like an army, using this new guy, Troik.
They also brought in a specialist named Clandon. At least that's what they introduced him as.
Yeah, I've met Clandon. He was very vague about what he's doing. So what kind of specialist is Clandon?
I got no fucking idea. They let him have the run of the place, though. He seems like a nice guy, but he makes me nervous. He's a little arrogant, but he's too nice. Too open. I've never seen him fucking or gambling. Everyone has a vice, but this guy seems like the Pope.
Okay, so that makes you suspicious. Well, I have more questions.
Okay, toss them at me.
Yeah, tell me about this Troika guy.
He's a skittish little fucker. Spends half the day pumping his body full of chems and the other half pumping hookers with his willy. He has some kind of connections, so he's able to smuggle huge shipments of weapons into the Strip. The bosses got him by the short hairs. We covered up a hooker he killed while flying on some psycho, so he gets us guns in exchange for not ratting.
I think I may have seen the dead prostitute, if that was her. Well, that would explain the dead woman.
Okay, toss them at me.
Yeah, do you know anything about what they are planning?
No, just that it involves guns and muscle. Also that it's big. Very big. Only Nero and Big Saul know everything, and they ain't telling.
Okay, so I gotta find out what they're doing. And those were all the questions, right?
Okay, toss them at me.
Yeah, that's all the questions I have for now.
Okay, you can find me here or upstairs in my room. I'll let the muscle know you're a friend of mine. That should let you get around a little easier.
Alright, that's good to know. So maybe I can actually open some of the doors that were off limits until now. Yeah, let's have a look at the quest. Find out what kind of work Clandon does for the family. Talk to Troik about mysterious gun shipments. Yeah, I mean, this quest hasn't updated at all, so I'm going to assume this is basically the same quest. Just given to me by someone else. Right, I know where to find Clandon, so maybe I'm going to start with him and see what he's doing, right? I mean, he was not very forthcoming when I spoke to him before, but maybe we can convince him in some fashion. However, I think we will do this in the next episode. So yeah, let's make a cut here, and the day after tomorrow we will continue to investigate the mysterious activities of the Omerta. So as usual, thank you for watching, and see you again next time.